What's up everyone, Shirley here. Today we're back in the Mythic Sanctum of Domination looking at the Eye of the Jailer fight. I am still playing Venthyr arms on this with the Enduring Blow legendary, as well as spec'd into Sudden Death, Rend, Avatar, Double Time, Collateral Damage, and Dreadnought. Using Collateral Damage instead of Warbreaker just because there's a bug right now with Warbreaker overriding the Enduring Blow effect. But anyway, getting into the fight here. Gonna use all of our cooldowns and potion on the pole here, you know, to start slamming the boss. We're gonna get into that first chain soak and help soak that. And saving my Blade Storm as long as I can off the rip, provided you get, you know, decent rage generation to do that. That way I can cleave that first ad down with it as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my Sweeping Strikes right away and start cleaving down that ad. You could save it and use it when we rotate back around here, depending on your raid's comp and DPS and, you know, where this ad is. But I'm going to opt to go ahead and use it because a lot of times you can get a debuff later on in the fight where you might not be able to cleave this ad, so any chance you get to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take it right now. For example, right here, I get the slow debuff. I'm going to move it all the way out to the outside here, and I can't be cleaving that ad, obviously, so that's why I went ahead and used those cooldowns right away, even though the beam comes in. Another thing you can do as an Arms Warrior on this fight is cheat a little bit with the Annihilating Glare here. When we're rotating around, you can attack the boss still really far up on the platform here, close to the chain, but if you just stand here and cleave these two, especially putting up bleeds on the ad as well, you can heroic leap the last little bit and, you know, still get pretty good uptime before you take the chain across. Another thing, you can actually attack the boss midair when you're flying over here, so I would, you know, take the time to do that as well. And luckily this lines up with all of our cooldowns coming back up for the first intermission phase where these two ads spawn on either side. We divided our raid up about evenly on either end, and now we're going to be just, you know, blasting these things. I'm going to move out here with this debuff and try not to clip anybody with this. I'm going to go ahead and throw up a little reflect just to help mitigate some of that. Almost get clipped by these missiles when I charge back in, but we managed to avoid that, which is nice. Just going to be trying to save as much space during this phase as we can as this dot on us stacks up, just rotating these pools that we're dropping around and working back towards the front half of the room, I suppose you would call it. You still have to watch, you know, add health here and make sure that these things are dying. Once we get up to 5 stacks, we're going to go ahead and swap sides here. And you can see on the top right there, my debuff just falls off right as we kind of get over here. Make sure you don't charge in early and step on your tank and, you know, blow up the raid, because that's definitely a problem. And during this phase, we're just still trying to save as much space as we possibly can with these pools and rotating around. Unfortunately, I got clipped on the edge of that missile and have to soak these spirit things that slow you. I thought I was out of it, but was not. I'm going to go ahead and use my Reflect 2 there again when I'm stepping into that pool just to help mitigate some of the magic damage coming off of that. And then we get back onto the main boss, the main platform here, and once again, you don't want to just rush in, especially if you're rotating back around to the side where you've been assigned like I am right here, because if you got that debuff still, you could, you know, step on somebody and that's not good. We're going to swing back into the middle here and soak these next set of chains. You really want the people on your raid group to have their slow debuffs off to the side anytime these come out, because it'll drag you off really fast if you end up getting clipped by the slow and the chain pull at the same time. Going to go ahead and Sweeping Strikes, cleave down this ad again, just like last time. The hitbox on the boss itself is really big, but it does slide up towards the edge of the platform more when he comes back for the laser beam, so you do have to be closer for that. Another thing, when you're jumping across from the chain, you can charge back to the boss every time, and it is a little bit sketchy because it'll throw you right up to the edge of the platform, so definitely don't jump or anything when you do that, because you might fall off the edge doing that. But we're going to be hitting this thing, and as Venthyr still, obviously, anytime you can, you want to be, you know, Sweeping Strikes Condemn on any of the low health ads that come up. Unfortunately, I have the slow debuff here again, so I have to be moved out to the side with this, and it's not that big of a deal. We've got pretty good damage, so we're just going to be doing that. And I don't know why everybody chased the ad on this side when the beam is rotating back this way. I'm saving my cooldowns on this particular set right here. I probably could have went ahead and used my Colossus Smash during this phase. We, you know, didn't really need it coming up for the second intermission part. But I opted to go ahead and save my CS here and luckily it worked out in my favor because we still had this add up, so I can have sweeping strikes and CS on both of these targets right here. This isn't normally going to happen, especially, you know, with gear going up on later kills. We probably won't have adds here, but, you know, any opportunity to cleave, you know, as an arms warrior, that's what you should be doing, so take it. We're going to go ahead and just, you know, continue working down these bosses, trying to use our space effectively. I opted to save my avatar here because I didn't have it. I had it out of sync, unfortunately, with my Colossus Smash. That's why next time around I'd probably go ahead and just use that second CS as soon as it comes back up. That way I can keep both my cooldowns in line here. But since there wasn't too much time left on it, I opted to save it. Right there, I moved into the little black pools on the ground for just a second just to avoid that missile coming in. Threw up a Reflect again to help mitigate some of that. And towards the end of the fight, the damage just gets really high, so anything we can do to help mitigate that. I got pretty low there, so I went ahead and rallied right before I got topped off anyway. But as it comes down to the very end, we probably want to save rallies for the very final boss phase, but that's when we're going to have Bloodlust as well, so, you know, the healer's going to be able to catch up a little bit there. And we're just going to rotate around, trying to kill both of these adds as evenly as possible. I am saving my second potion. I didn't use it on that avatar go right there, just because I want to use it during Lust in the final boss burn phase. And we're not using Massacre anymore, but, you know, our Condemn window is still pretty important, and especially if you're not using Condemn, the Execute window is still a really big deal for arms. So anytime you're, you know, within 8-ish% off, like, Execute phase, I'd probably go ahead and save my cooldowns for the Execute window. I do get the slow again here, and that debuff just really likes me on this fight. And I'm just going to move out to the side. Once again, try not to clip too many people with this and, you know, just nuke the boss at this point. We are ignoring the adds. Obviously, if you're next to it, you might as well cleave it just for the hell of it, but it's not a priority here. We're just going to kill the boss at this point. Rotating around the platform once again, just avoiding this laser beam. I'm going to be, you know, putting up as much uptime here as I can using that heroic leap to get to the chain quick and charge it back in. Sometimes when you charge the boss doing this too, there's a bug where your charge will go off and you'll get a cooldown on it, but you won't actually move, so be aware of that if you're wondering why. You press the button and nothing happened occasionally. There's some pathing issues, I think, with this boss because it's floating out, you know, in space. Get this last debuff here, just trying to move it out away from everybody. And down we go, unfortunately, but 2% left on the boss, and it's just a full burn here. Just, you know, trying to keep everybody alive to the end. And that'll be it for the Eye of the Jailer on Mythic. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.